Hello, YouTube. Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man, Sai, and I'm back again with my main man, the Dream Team, Andy Cantwell. How are we doing?
Very well, Si, and you?
All good. Busy, busy. But I tell you what, it's been 60 years since England have won the World Cup, but the fans have also been waiting 60 years for guess what?
Is the footy on?
The footy's on, mate. It's back again.
Good to be
Uh,
back.
Absolutely loving it. You've got a rather nice setup there. Very stylish, very chic.
Yeah, it looks good. My plan before this was to have. I'm literally just have my phone balancing on some old books, so the illusion would be shattered if you actually saw where I am. But of course, I had last minute tech issues, so I apologize that my voice is not as crisp as yours and your lovely background. You've added some nice lights and stuff behind you.
I tell you what, I figured out that my lights can actually dim. So I've dimmed my lights and put this little pink rod that's illuminating
Yeah.
the Liverpool Hello Kitty. That's blurred in
Oh,
the
I
background.
like it. I like it a lot. Oh, if I had a room like that in my own house, I mean, it would be cluttered with stuff I don't like. It'd be boxes and old things. But God, if I had a space like that, oof, I'd live there.
Oh yes, oh yes, a man cave galore. I've even got my own fridge. I need the fridge.
Oh, stop! Oh, let me inside.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, yes. Vacation home in Japan. But yes, lots to talk about. The good times are back with the Reds. Munoz has signed. Iraola's in the house. The dark cloud, the slotty cloud is out the door. How are you feeling, my man?
Do you know? I have to admit, I am excited again. I am looking forward to the next season again, which for the first time in I don't know how many years I'd never gotten to a stage, and I feel bad because like
Yeah.
Slot, there were some good times with Slot, but it was time, and it was a shame, but it was time, and I kind of felt this was the first season where we finished, and I thought like, oh, I've got to go through this again next year now. As opposed to like, can't wait to start fresh again and see who we get the summer and all this. I was just very low. So to see Iraola coming in, I know it's a bit of a gamble because traditionally managers at kind of smaller clubs, when they make the jump up, don't always
Yeah.
work. But every good manager, every elite manager in history has had to make that jump as
Mm.
well. So, I'm just excited. I'm excited about the fact that the football seemingly will be, I think, quite different to what we saw this season. Um, I'm happy with the signing. I won't lie. I did not know much about him until yesterday morning. But according to the YouTube compilations I've seen, he looks pretty good.
Mm.
But that's where I would imagine you would actually know a bit more about that sort of thing than me. How are you feeling about it? What's he like?
I love it. You know, when Brendan Rodgers signed Fabio Borini and said he's going to be a fan favorite, even on YouTube, the highlight reels were like, are we sure about this? Whereas Victor Muñoz, right? He is a terrier, a pit bull. He's rapid. He's tenacious. He's quite muscular. He looks like a hybrid between
He's
Diogo Jota
jacked.
and Fernando Torres. He is,
Yeah. Fernando Torres, present day jacked, and
yeah.
yeah, and that's a good term for him. Just he is a bit of a Rottweiler, a bit of a
Mm,
like he just there's something about players with a jacked build and a low center of gravity,
yeah.
and I just feel like I've seen comparisons to Craig Bellamy, which
Mm,
I think is a bit of a I mean, if someone said he's great, he's the next Craig Bellamy, I wouldn't be like, you're joking me. We gotta have him. But I think what I saw from the highlights is in like rapid speed,
yeah.
certainly rapid burst of acceleration, strong, like likes to dribble, is good at dribbling, and he seems like maybe a little bit raw, but that's why I like it. I like
Yes.
it's a very Liverpool signing. You signed someone for around 30 to 40 mil, not the finished article, but someone that we bring him in and we're confident that we're going to make him a better player, not just like here's this shiny finished article
Mm,
plunked in here. I like that the Liverpoolness of it, that he has the attributes of a player that we would normally sign,
yeah. Yeah.
and I think it ticks all the boxes for me, you know.
It really does. It really does. And the fact that he's a live wire, him and Kirkes running rampage down that left hand side, no right sided team in world football is going to have fun against Kirkes and Munoz running rampant, right
Yeah,
up and down, interchanging, tracking back like a madman. And the fact that he can play in all three front positions, right? We know that Hugo Ekitike is out until the next year, the new year, maybe January, Boxing Day, aiming for a return. But
yeah,
Isak does pick up the odd injury, the odd niggle, but the fact that Munoz can play up front there as well, we now have that cover up in the front, and we're still after wingers, attackers. We're shopping in like Waitrose and not at Lidl or Aldi, right? We're actually there for those top
yeah.
prospects. You see that Wagyu beef. It may not be the best Wagyu beef, but it is still Wagyu beef, and we're right there chasing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hesitant. Like, I don't want us to go on like a big spree, or maybe like, I mean, but do I? Like, I don't like it. It was kind of like last year where I was excited, but also there was a little bit of like, okay, it seems very Real Madrid like.
Galacticos.
Yeah, and like we're smashing the transfer
Mm.
record twice in one window and all this, and I was just a bit like, I mean, that is great, but I haven't ever seen that work too well, too many at the
Yeah.
same time. But then we are at a stage where we do need cover in a lot of positions, and but I just like the targets that we've been linked with. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can see them all. If we got them all in a perfect scenario, I would think like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that'll add to us. Like it's. I have a bit more faith in the lessons learned from last season. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And they're kind of like good eggs, right? These are linked with hard-working, pure youngsters who still have something to win. They're not the finished
Yeah,
article. They're not multiple-time Champions League winners. They're not divas and prima donnas who want to play every game or will throw their toys out of the pram. And it's almost like with Slot gone, it's kind of the feeling that when Slot was here, you want to support him. You want to support Liverpool. Liverpool comes first. He's the
yeah,
king. But when the loyal subjects and the citizens turn against the kings, then the king is dead. Long live the new king! And the new king looks flashy. He looks like a Liverpool man. He looks like someone who understands it because he comes from Athletic Bilbao. He's Basque. He seems
yeah,
really like a Liverpool, the underdog stories you mentioned from the smaller club,
yeah,
trying to win things and achieve things for the first time in his managerial career. And you're completely right. Luis Enrique didn't start at Barcelona. I think he started at Celta or somewhere like that. Arteta was a number two before he got the
yeah.
Arsenal role, right? So everyone's got to have a start somewhere, and Iraola's already achieved things. That Bournemouth team could have given any team in world football a game on their day because they went 18 games unbeaten, and that's meaningful.
Yeah, hugely. And it's a good point because I think I like Liverpool being the underdogs
Mm.
more so than like, when we bought all these signings last summer, it was like
Yeah.
we've won the league and we're signing all these players, like now we're gonna go to the upper levels and win everything, win the quad and win everything. And like which would still be great, don't get me wrong,
Mm.
but I like us as the chasers.
Oh,
You know what I
yes.
mean? Like, look, I want us to be first and everything, but I like us being like, Iraola's kind of unproven. Oh, but he's doing it. Or, who knew Munoz would be such a staple in the team after only a month? But like, look at him go, adapting to the new game. Like, I like these little overcoming of the odds. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of
Yeah.
felt like with last summer's transfer that it was kind of like, oh, there's no room for any error with any
Oh,
of
yeah.
these. Like, you
Pressure.
have to like outperform your previous season. And I just feel like now it's just a bit of a fresh start. The manager has something to prove. The one player that he's bought so far has something to prove. And I also think a lot of the first 11 have something to prove because
Yeah.
you see like Isak and Wirtz and even McAllister playing for their countries, and I'm like, I can't, like, I didn't see any of this under Slot. I seen a goal Isak scored. It was like pre World Cup last week or whatever. I can't remember who it was against. I was like, fuck. And I was like, who's this guy? Like, I haven't
Yeah.
seen one
Yeah.
glimpse of this. And so, it's all there. And I'm pretty sure that Wirtz will have learned a lot after this year as well. And it may even help him with, some of the exits with Salah going and things like that. That it maybe it'd be a bit more focused towards him. I don't know exactly what way Iraola is going to set up, but I just feel like we have a lot of players now who we know it's there, who just for some reason it wasn't happening last season, and
Yeah,
I think they'll kind of shake that off and we'll go again this year. You know what I mean? I've
I think
confidence
so.
in that.
I think so. I think so. I
So
think it's because of the framework that they were given under Slot, the instructions, the tactical ploy. Like someone who's meant to be a tactician and really he claims to be an offensive coach, right? He was the most passive and reactive and sideways passing coach, which absolutely helped nobody because if all the
yeah,
passes are to feet, if you watch McAllister for Argentina, as soon as the ball's coming to him, Rodrigo De Paul and Enzo Fernandez are moving into the space to give him the option so he can offload quickly. When he's under pressure, he can
yeah,
offload because he's got options. Where Slot wants everyone stationary in position to pass sideways, which means that when he's under pressure, well, the other players aren't moving anyway, so they're already marked. So he's under pressure. He's got to do
yes,
something. He's got to retain it, or he's got to go backwards. And it's the same with Wirtz and Isak as well. Because there's no one near them, and we don't give them the ball quick enough, by the time they do get the ball to feet, the opposition are already set up to press them, to crush them, to give
yeah,
them no space. And that's why Isak is like, forget this. I move, but Slot's, philosophy is never going to get the ball to me. They're going sideways. They're going over there. Why should I
yeah.
move? I'm not going to get the ball anyway. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's it. Because I remember even when we won the league the year before, and whoever was in that number 9 spot, whether it was Nunez
Yeah.
or Jota or anyone like that, it was like an invisible spot on the pitch. It was
Mm.
like you may as well almost be playing with 10 men if you're playing with,
No
you know what I
space.
mean? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
the ball was just never. It was always Salah cutting inside, or
Gakpo.
Gakpo cutting inside, and it was just it never reached them. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
like I'd be excited to see, and that was, to be honest, like 2 years of Slot. I noticed that where it's like the
Mm.
center, the central striker, is really not as involved as you'd want him to be. Like he's your target man. He's your main man,
That's it.
and so I'm kind of excited to see how everyone adapts, and I think it will. I think it'll sort of correct itself this year. You know what I mean?
And I think that's a great point because if anything, Andoni Iraola knows how to get a tune out of the strikers, right? Junior Krupi, 19 years old, looks like a world beater, double-digit scoring teen. Evan Nielsen, he's good, he's not great, and he's
Yeah,
made him look class as well. And Isak is miles better than Evan Nielsen. And then you got players like Tavernier, right? Tavernier, not necessarily a journeyman, but he plays in the same position as Florian Wirtz. Wirtz versus Tavernier, get out of here. It's not even the same,
yeah.
same universe, right? And then Ryan on the right-hand side, the skillful Brazilian, hits the ground running in first season, covering for Semenyo. Iriola knows how to get a tune out of his forwards, and my
Yeah,
goodness, we've got a good crop of forwards.
and even with Kirkes, he got Kirkes to the level that we wanted him. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like he
mm.
got Kirkes performing as whatever. He was the best left back in of the
Premier League.
season
Yeah.
that year. I have to ask you though, where did you stand? It looks unfortunately like it won't happen, but where did you stand on the Nunez back to Liverpool story? Were you going with your heart, or were you going with your tactics board?
So
And
I know what you mean. It's the heart wants what it wants, right? It would have been fun to see him back. It would have been fun to see a redemption story. He has good attributes that suit Iriola team, like the pressing, the coming inside. If you watch his goals, he scores some cracking goals. He misses a hell of a lot of goals as well. But of the goals he misses, smashing the keeper, smashing the post, that is like an inch away from being a perfect strike. He hits the ball clean, he works hard, he presses. But I think the fan furore, the people who are against him, the will he do it, won't he do it? Should we go back to the well? I don't think we should be divisive. We should have a clean slate and a fresh start. Even though I would love him back, it's probably better for him not to come back. Because there's only good vibes at the moment, and as soon as he misses the first 1v1, it goes,
see, I would have thought the opposite. I would have thought that this would have been like one. I would have only
Mm.
kind of wanted him on the left. I
Oh
wouldn't,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe obviously like he was our number 9, but I think he's at his best when he's got space to run,
Yes.
and and he's on the left. I would absolutely have him on the left and
Mm.
ahead of Gakpo, and I kind of felt that like the fan clamor to get him
Mm.
back. I thought like, oh, how nice, like that because it was one of these things where I was just like, that's not happening, and then you just keep
Yeah.
seeing it. And I'm like,
Yes.
but is it happening? And I can't defend some of the misses that he's had,
Yes.
but I feel like that would have been a real jolt of vibes back into the team, which was so much
Yeah.
fun. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that
So
was the
fun.
thing I kind of found with, like, okay, with Klopp, fair enough. he'd still sky 90% of his chances, but well, that's probably even unfair, but he would create alone three, four, five chances in a
Yeah.
game. And then whatever happens next is, it's in God's hands. But but then I noticed under Slot, then he just wasn't getting those chances. So I
Yeah.
kind of thought, oh, well, maybe if he comes back under Iraola, will he be that style again, where he's kind of just creating his own stuff?
Mm.
I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anyway, so it's a bit of a you know
Well,
mute argument.
yeah,
But
stranger things have happened. So if I was coach of Liverpool, I would take him back immediately because I've always said that his existence on the pitch made Liverpool a better team, and we won. The most important thing is we won. Even if he had a bad game, Liverpool won because what he offers,
yeah,
where the opposition's offside line has to sit, what he offers in behind. And you may think he misses a lot of chances, but that's a good thing in itself because he's in position to miss those chances and he creates
yeah,
that. But just for the vibe, just to give Iraola that clean, fresh slate away from everything of the past.
yeah.
Salah, the Salah conundrum. You have to play Salah. You have to play Salah. That's
I
gone.
think I think
So
it's great for Iraola that Salah's gone. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And like, as much, I mean, it sounds weird to say, like one of the greatest players we've ever
mm,
had, but just that whole circus that goes
mm.
with, is he getting subbed? Is he happy? Is he not happy? Is he starting? Oh, you won't like that. All this narrative of, like, gotta keep Salah happy. You gotta, it's almost like, do you remember the episode of The Simpsons where like Bart can read people's minds and
Oh,
everyone's
yeah,
kind of going around like, okay,
yeah, yeah,
and try not to piss him off. It was kind of a bit like that with Salah. As lovely as he is, and as much
yeah.
as I love him, and as great of a player that he was, I think he comes because he's such a big name and
Mm.
been such a great player, that it just comes with baggage, whether that's through him doing it or just through the Salah machine. But I think it's great for Iraola that he's got such a fresh start like that. You know what I mean? He
I
doesn't have
think
to
so.
deal with any of
Yeah,
that, and
I think so. The
you know,
aura, the aura of the man, he's earned that aura. He's a
yeah.
legend. He's larger than life. But I noticed like Szoboszlai passed the buck to him so many times, didn't take
My God,
responsibility. That's that little drop off sideways pass, and he just stands there in position. Might have been Slot's fault. It might have been Szoboszlai's fault. It's
sucks.
probably a bit of both. But Salah, larger than life. Now that shadow and that aura is not there. I want Salah to grab the biggest money bags he can get and find a
Yeah,
team that builds it around him so he can just score another 100 goals. I want to
yeah,
see that. But I'm also glad that Iraola's got a clean, fresh slate to build a next great Liverpool team that can
yeah,
dominate, actually dominate and not be carried by one player. And that's another thing that I really like about this slow evolution, right? It is a changing of the guard, but we still do have the players that deservedly are of that caliber. Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker, they're going to be here for the
yeah,
first season of Iraola. They're going to
yeah,
show the standards, what it means to be a Liverpool player, to be a Champions League winner,
yeah.
Premier League winner, at least one more season of the great men.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad that they are staying, because one, they're both class, but just the standards, like you said, the standards that they set and demand from people, I think that'll be a very good, it'd be great for any new player coming in, but then also like great help for Iraola. Imagine coming in and having a Van Dijk there that will
Mm,
just kind of,
Stature.
yeah, you know what I mean? And I think, like, it's funny. Like, I'm actually delighted that you mentioned that about Szoboszlai, because that drove me mad. Where Szoboszlai, you'd either have a clean shot or if he a little cross into the box, and always just playing that right ball to Salah
Yes.
always, and it would drive me mad.
Mm.
So one, don't know how Szoboszlai is going to cope without that that out there. Maybe because he's such a good shot, pass, everything. Like, just do more of that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but I kind of like, when I always thought when Van Dijk leaves, you're like, all right, Szoboszlai is the next captain, and it's only lately, maybe it's this season, that stuff was kind of getting to him,
Oh yeah.
but I don't know how I would feel about that now, because I
Mm.
kind of feel like he's had a few missteps, like off the field or at full time, or with the fans, are like, whoa,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah. Yeah.
wrong, or
Yeah.
a few ill. Now, look, I know you can't do too much about this, but like a few times, like they'd be after a loss, and then he'd be there promoting like McDonald's or something, looking all flash. The outfits that he wears on international
I
duty. If he
know.
was not my player, I would be
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is that? What's he wearing? And like, fine, everyone can wear what they want. I'm
Yeah.
much older than him. He's living the dream as a 26-year-old, or whatever, however old he is. But I kind of think there was just one or two, and some of the body language on the pitch, if someone doesn't do something, or he'd be a bit like, oh, or, really
Yeah,
giving out.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's only this season that I thought he was nailed on future captain, and now he still might be, but I don't know how you feel, but I'm a bit like, I don't know if he would be. I think I'd be looking. I don't know who else I'd be looking for, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know now.
It's funny. It's funny
Yeah.
you say that, right? My most disliked video of all time on the Liverpool Fan in Japan channel, I did a
Please.
1 hour special on Dominic Szoboszlai. I said he is a really weird profile of a player. He's got super high highs and then some average stats, but they don't all work together. And it's not just the technical stuff, it's the physical and the mental stuff as well, right? He's got a rocket shot, he's got a dynamite cross, he's got bundles of energy. But I
Yeah,
think he was player of the season just
yeah,
because everyone else sucked and his natural physical characteristics of energy, running, Duracell bunny, and versatility, outshone everyone else. And then
yeah.
you can score a free kick like a god, right? And you
My
can do
God, yeah.
all that shooting from range, but he's hesitant to shoot. He's hesitant to be the game winner and take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, like this is the thing, like because you think like with Szoboszlai that I think he was player of the year, but yeah, probably rightly so. There was no other option really, and I do feel like he's very hesitant. It's like a superhero who doesn't want people to know that he like when Superman can save someone, but he has to quickly run off and get changed, or you know what I mean? Because it's like he's got these powers, but he's too scared to use
Yeah.
them. I don't know what it is, but I think even with Szoboszlai, it could be like, yeah, he was our player of the year. But can you imagine the level? I feel like he's got levels that
Yeah.
he's not tapped into. That I feel like if he just really, I don't know what he would have to do. I'm not an elite athlete like Dominic Szoboszlai, but uh, you know what I mean. I feel like he hasn't come close to his ceiling yet, and I
Nowhere
kind of feel
near.
like he
Yeah.
he does pass the buck a little bit, like especially when Salah's there. It's almost like I felt when he got the ball last year. It was just like, right, where's Salah? Oh, there you are, right
Yeah.
beside me, mate. Yeah, there you go. And
Exactly.
it was too much looking for Salah. I know they're mates and they're coffee friends and all this sort of stuff, but I don't know. I just kind of think he's got so much more potential, and maybe that's being harsh on our player of the year, but I think I agree. He's got so much more that he could do, and like the amount of times last season where I'm like, you shoot. Like,
Yeah.
he'd be
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there and he'd try and play the pass. Or I remember there was a big it was during the Darwin Nunez clamor, and people were like, really like this, and it was a goal or it was a miss where like Szoboszlai was 1-on-1 with the keeper. If you remember, I was thinking the Champions League, and
Mm.
Nunez is busting a gut to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And Szoboszlai plays this ball that Nunez has to, I mean, run as fast as he's ever
Yeah.
ran to get there. He's getting there too fast and skies it. And it was like that was one of those like just slot it in, just slot that in.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so
He does.
there's
He
a
does
bit
that
of
all
that.
the time. He does
Yeah,
that
and
all the time, isn't it?
yeah, but I mean, so I don't
Yeah.
know with that, but I
And
don't
the
know. Like if I was going to say, sorry, if it's not Szoboszlai, who would you, or even if he is still there, like who would you want as the captain if Van Dijk and Allison leave?
It's a good question. It's a good question because that's the thing, right? Does he lead by example? Running, yes. But in terms of, when the fans were booing Trent, he was like, what's going on there? And he had that go at the fans as well. And he
Yeah,
has that glitz and glamour, that idol, that Beckham status in Hungary as well. He does that
yeah,
kind of fashion stuff with Curtis Jones. There's a little bit, what's going on there. But the biggest
yeah,
question mark, right? The
yeah,
biggest question mark is 2 years left on the contract, not re-signing a deal.
yeah.
Hungarian coach was twerking for Real Madrid as well. This seems a bit iffy. I want to give him the benefit of the
I
doubt.
I know what I see. I was only saying this yesterday or the other day to a mate where I see like a sliding doors moment. I see one where he re-signs till 2030
Yes,
and is captain after Van Dijk
captain.
and
Yes,
leads the team back to the
that's it.
glory days. And I see another one where he just runs down his contract for 2 years and goes to Real Madrid. I could see him playing for Real Madrid, and I hate
Yes,
that. I hate
yeah.
even thinking it. And I'm not. He just kind of like, you know it's a certain attitude or a swagger
Mm.
which I love for us, but I could easily see that transfer into those bastards in white, just like
And
Trent, Kanate, whatever, which seems to be just the. And I see a lot of clamoring for like if he doesn't want to re-sign now, then I see people saying, "Well, move him on because we don't want another freebie going to Real Madrid." You know what I mean? So I've seen that take as well. So I don't know. I don't even know where I stand on it. But I really don't want him to go to Real Madrid.
And that's the
I'm
key
sick
word.
of Real Madrid.
That freebie thing is the key word. I don't think Real Madrid would pay anything for Dominic Szoboszlai. It's not because he's not good, but he's not. I don't think he's good enough to get into that. And it might be controversial here, but they have Kroos and Modric running the show. Szoboszlai is not good under pressure. He passes the buck. He doesn't do anything when he's in a congested area. He's not a great through ball merchant. He's not a great long ball distributor like a Casemiro or a Xabi Alonso or Pirlo. He's not a number 10 who will thread the ball through. He's not even a Bellingham who runs beyond the line again and again and again and is quite clinical in his finishing and ruthless in getting the goal metrics. So to profile Szoboszlai, he can't play 6 for Real Madrid. He won't get in one of the roaming 8 positions who need to be really technically able, like a Modric, right? And comfortable.
He's more of an engine than a technician.
Yeah. And they got that in Valverde already. So they would only ever take him for the free just because he's beautiful and he has talents and he's got marketability and he is a good player. But I don't think he's good enough to get in there. He just definitely doesn't fit Barcelona's style. So he's just a really weird one. But coming back to your question earlier, who else would be captain? McAllister's like the teacher's pet, but he's also, will he stay at Liverpool for the long term? I almost think that the next Liverpool captain may not be at Liverpool yet.
Ooh, interesting. I'm trying to think who would. Like there's really. I mean, you can't have Gravenberch as captain yet. I don't think he's
Doesn't seem right, does it? Doesn't seem right.
That doesn't sound right. McAllister, I could see, but I could also see him maybe going after this season as well. I could. I don't know why, but I would just, I could see that happening. So it's a kind of a tricky one. If it's not Szoboszlai, it's like who actually do you have as is like captain material?
Gakpo would be the most hilarious, outrageous, blow off the internet moment.
It would be Gakpo. It actually would be Gakpo. Based on seniority, Captain Gak.
The Gackers.
But and with him, I kind of feel a bit like bad. You know what I mean? Because I feel like he's the real scapegoat, and like no one's enjoyed watching him play this year. He hasn't. There was a period there where he really was. I remember was it Slot's first season, and Gakpo had a great run, but then he got injured, and it was only when he got injured we were like, "Jesus, we're really missing Gakpo." It sounds weird to even think that now because, like, I don't know. Maybe you can explain this to me. Did he had so much more to his game? It felt than run down the left, cut inside and the right, get the shot off. I mean, if he gets the shot off, very few have a better shot from that position.
Yes.
But he never gets the shot off because everyone knows what he wants to do. But like that wasn't like I just have a terrible memory, but that wasn't always the case, was it? Or was it? No. And he's just been found out. Like, why is he so one-dimensional now?
So the thing is, Klopp went from back to front really quickly before the opposition could set, right? And what that meant is he said, if we get the ball out wide to a Trent, to a Robertson, or even in half spaces to Salah and Mane, the opposite person better get their arse in the box. There better be someone to hit in the box. We better try to get around the outside, whip it in. If it goes to the other side, someone's in the box. And how many times did Gakpo get the ball in the penalty box area with his back to goal and turn and just slot it in, turn and slot it in? The chip against Man United, he was always in the box. Where Slot says, Salah, wide right touchline. Gakpo, wide left touchline. When you get the ball, bring it in, and then the opposition, first of all, they feared the Gakpo, the shot into the corner, the cut inside. Yes. It was good at cutting inside, that part of it, cutting inside. But then the opposition realised, we put an extra man in the line, let him cut inside, but let's just keep making the man angle more acute. He has to go further in, and it's such a hard shot, but he still tries it anyway, and he just blasts it to the moon, blasts it to Mars, reaches for the stars, and it's so frustrating, because they let him do it, because they encourage him to go more and more and more in, instead of that one touch in and bang, because they're set up for it.
And it's funny, because it's like, that's what Rio is trying to do as well. Yeah. He's just much better at it. Now Rio, that he's got more to his game than that, of course, but like ultimately when he's on the left, he's trying to bamboozle you and then either whatever, cut left, cut right, but ideally he'd love to cut right and get that sort of curling shot, far post sort of thing. I just think I like the fact that we with Rio and with Munoz. I don't know how much Munoz is going to start, but I like that we're bringing in actual dribblers. I feel like we haven't had dribblers in forever. Do you know what I mean? Of someone who can actually beat a man. I know Salah could with pace, like in the early days. Very much could not beat a man in the last couple of years.
Mm.
So and Gakpo, not really. So it'll be very interesting to see how we are up front now with if Isak can stay fit and keep the form that he kind of has at the minute, and we have some pace on the wings. Verts, been a bit
Yeah.
more open. Szoboszlai been not having to play in right back, and like I'm optimistic again. You know what I mean? So I just if we can get a few more little signings here and there, and also the new defenders coming in, and
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Leone, well, not coming in, but coming back.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like it'll be like another. It'll be weird because this season was a real like complete transformation of the team, and I feel like next season is going to be another transformation of the team. Do you know what I mean?
It
Because
will. It will
we
be. It will
still
be.
need more players, and there's players coming back. Bradley's coming back.
Mm.
All these sort of things. So yeah, it's interesting.
The fear factor will be back, and what I can guarantee for sure, there'll be a lot more highlight reel moments, because if anything, with the kind of players that we have, especially with Verts, right, and Isak hold up play, and Munoz coming in from left, and hopefully Diamande coming in off the right as well, the interchanging, when you give to one man the overlapping run of the fullback or the forward or Szoboszlai overlapping into the box, being aggressive, making extra
Yeah,
space, having that extra man in an overload, risking it for a biscuit,
yeah,
naturally is the solution to a low block where everybody has set in position. If you keep going side to side, the low block just moves with you. But if you go
yeah,
forward, you go penetrating, and there's runs beyond the person in the ball, someone in that position is going to have to vacate and follow or track or block that man, which
yeah.
opens up spaces elsewhere. And that's why I think Iraola's Liverpool is the best placed team to challenge Arsenal for the league title next season, because the immovable object, the unstoppable force with the players in the squad, a Maresca-led Man City. I'm sorry, but that's not the most best
No,
version
it
of Man
wouldn't.
City.
No, it wouldn't inspire me with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
That one, and yeah, I am like I do. Like I feel like I'm the eternal optimist, and I will just say generally, like, yeah, we're winning the league.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I said it at Slot's first season. Now I also said it at Slot's second season, but I could see like I I have one or two mates who think that they're not Liverpool fans, quite anti-Liverpool, in
yeah.
fact, who say that Liverpool will struggle next year. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think if we could just, you know, I don't actually think it'll be that hard for Iraola to get a really good tune out of this team, because you look at all the players on paper and even just off paper, just playing for their countries. Like,
Yes.
it's all still there. He's, I think, a lot more the sort of manager that we like, in terms of his style of play and things like that.
That's
And I
it.
think the importance, and it also feeds into a bunch of stuff that's like not on the pitch, where like there was a real loss of connection this year. I felt I was like
Mm.
it's me over here, the manager's over here, and the players are over there, and there's
Yeah,
no like
the Trinity wasn't together.
even when we were shy under Klopp for a little month spell, it still felt very like, oh, it's us all together. And I think that bleeds into obviously like the atmosphere and the ground, and you know the belief that we're gonna go and do it, like, you know what I mean, like if we need that
Yeah,
last minute winner, or to stop them getting the last minute winner, because we can see there's so many of them last season. I think a lot of that, like, it's hard to quantify, but I really feel like the style of play has an impact on,
it does.
the atmosphere, the crowd, the energy, and the like all this, like the nervousness versus no
Yes,
nervousness, the, like you said, the fear factor, which I would love for us to get back to just being like, oh shit, we're playing Liverpool,
Liverpool.
like that. Yeah, I want that to be, rather than like, oh great, like Wolves and everyone else being like, thank God, a
Yeah.
respite from the dregs, we're playing Liverpool.
We can come back. We can get back on form
Yeah,
here. We can score against
sure,
these
we've
lot.
lost 9 in a row, but we're playing Liverpool next week. Like,
That's it.
popping
That's it.
champagne before even kick off. Like, great. So, as far away from that as we can get, and for us to be a team that's hard to beat. My My question for you would be: do you think? Because I've seen people saying that uh, it'll be a bit wild and chaotic with this Iraola team. Do you see it being that way? Like, do you see us being leaking goals as well as
I
scoring goals?
I don't
It's
think
hard to
so
tell.
because Bournemouth had one of the tightest home defenses in the league last season. Granted, they got hammered away on occasion, right? The thing that people underestimate, and you're completely right, the camaraderie, the rapport, and the spirit in the changing room. You can hide bad style football if you get the results, if you grind out the results, Mourinho style, right? You against the world. But if you get
Yeah,
bad results and you play shit, then you are in a world of trouble, my friend. And
yeah,
in Iriola, you want to play exciting football. As a footballer, as a sportsman, you want to show what you can do. Flick on, Jogo Bonita, ole, 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 get the goal
yeah,
right in their face. Back we get, right at them boys again. Anfield on their feet,
yeah.
the 12th man. You need that. That is Liverpool's identity. That's our strength. Jurgen Klopp said the togetherness, and Slot just did not understand that at all. He just did not
No,
understand it somehow.
I don't. Yeah,
Crazy.
I think so. I think you're right, and I think the feeling of going. One of my favorite feelings as a Liverpool fan is when we've just scored,
Mm.
obviously, and then like the camera's done showing the replays and it cuts and we're in the box again, and
Yeah.
I'm like, gee, and the crowd's all up, or
Mm.
it might just a keeper might just save it and tip it over, and we have a corner straight after scoring, and everyone's like, yeah, like just that buzz, that energy. If I
I
could bottle
know.
it, and it was so lacking, and like genuinely, like I would like I've never had a situation like I said where I wasn't looking forward to next season, but even
Mm.
like the matches would be coming up, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, all right, let's see, like
That's
we'd
it.
score, they'd
That's
score,
it.
and I'd still be just like, I wouldn't react, I wouldn't,
Yeah.
and I
Indifferent.
so
Indifference
I
was
was just
the
so indifferent because it's like, especially towards the end, where it's like we've nothing to play for here,
football's boring.
and we're just not able to play. This is the thing. Like maybe you can help shed some light on this, but I was like, I couldn't understand. Like, did Slot want them to press and they weren't pressing, or did he not want them to press? Because the amount of times where like we would press in a game, a random game, and I'm like, there it is. Like, just keep doing that. Like we're playing great.
Mm,
And then it would get like, especially towards the end of the season, where I'm like, I'm just seeing the same thing. Like,
mm.
how is that? Is that a coach saying, I don't want this, I do want this? Is the players not playing for him? Are they, you know what I mean? I was like, why am I seeing the same thing every week? How does that happen at this level where you're just, I'm like, there's nothing. And again, next week, there's nothing. And, what was that?
It's 100% on Slot. It's completely Slot's fault. He does not know how to coach an impressive pressing team. The players may
Mm,
not be suited to pressing, but these are professional footballers at the highest level, at one of the best clubs in the world, earning shitloads of money. Right? Forgive my French. They absolutely can press if that was Slot's game plan. Even an uncoordinated press can happen. Now, Slot's excuse was they bypassed the press for long balls. They bypassed the press for long balls. Well, okay, then press the second phase. Whoever wins the header, you press, you attack, you hound, you go together. McAllister can do it for sure. Gravenberch is nimble enough to do it. Szoboszlai's got acceleration off the ball in the sprint to do it.
mhm.
Wataru Endo is an expert at doing it, right? If it is in the middle third, then the forwards can come in and press from all directions and zones of containment. But Slot wanted this, how I would describe it, right? Is he wanted the opposition to make unforced errors. He had the nerve and temerity to say he doesn't sit in a low block and he hates the low block. I counted over 52 occasions Liverpool sat in the dirtiest low block ever, right? Waiting for the opposition to hand back the ball, with a wild shot or a deflection
Yeah,
or getting tackled. He was waiting for an unforced error, which was nonsensical either because our counter-attacking prowess was crap because everybody did not seem to have a clue how to connect together because no one was near each other. And the biggest justification
yeah,
I can give for him being clueless was if you put Rio Ngamo on to win the game, you better shift the system to give him the space, build up on the right hand side, hit it to Ngamo to isolate him 1v1. But no, it's the exactly same system. Like for
yeah.
like, Ngamo, you come on and do something, mate. Do something, mate. Chiesa
That's
coming on for
exactly
nothing. Just doing something,
it,
right?
that's exactly. It was like, you try something now,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, what? Just win, just score, okay?
Exactly.
Just you do your thing, okay? Please, I need this.
Yeah.
Like it felt like there was no. Whereas even, and I know, sorry, I know this has become a bit of a slot bashing, but like it,
The best
but
kind.
like, yeah, but last year. or the year before, I mean, I found he was particularly good with subs
Yeah,
and proactive and bringing on, swapping out the fullbacks and, very proactive, not reactive at all. And like, yeah, great. Like, it just seemed, I don't know, it seemed like he'd lost his way. So I think it's, like I said, for the first time in a year, I am,
relieved,
excited. I'm
excited.
excited. I'm relieved. I felt bad that he left because even in the way it was like, no, he's safe, and everyone was like, all right, and then it was, no, he's gone again, and I was like, oh, okay, and I the only thing I felt bad about was like I would have liked for them to have made that decision before the final game. So I think because I think he would have got a big
Yeah,
round of applause rather than this image of him like slumped back in his
yeah,
chair. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think he was. I think he was just giving Salah and Robertson their
A
moment.
moment.
But I
Mm,
think like he would have got a thank you, a send off, or whatever,
mm.
because like and like that's the other thing I thought was quite telling of like when he left, like there was about 24 hours of nothing from the players, and like the messages were very like I know he's only there 2 years, but
Yeah, yeah.
did you find it was just a little bit like cheers, Gaffer, all the best, don't let the door hit you on the
Yeah,
way out.
yeah. Well, like, here's the thing with him. I think history will look kindly on Slot, and he was an important mechanism to get us to this point in time where we're well placed to dominate. I would say actually dominate for a few years if all goes well, especially if we sign Yan Diomande, right? Because
Yeah,
taking over from Jurgen Klopp, he had the right stature. He won the Premier League. Fantastic. Up the shiny one. He was doing great. But only in adversity and under pressure did the character, the arrogance come out, the deception and the gaslighting in the media. But the reason why I think he lost the
yeah,
dressing room was because he didn't take it on his shoulders and take the blame. He put players under the bus. He called
yeah.
out players. And the fact that Chiesa, who's been his player of the month, rescued the points in the opening game of the season, permabench, never given an opportunity,
No,
right? Ekatike was on great form. And every time Isak was fit again, instantly dropped for Isak,
yeah,
who wasn't fit, right? He absolutely did things that would have made all the players scratch their head and like, what
yeah,
is going on? And I don't
yeah,
think he got everyone to buy into that. This is for the greater good. No, he actually had favorites, no matter if they were burnt out or out of form or tired, or if they're the wrong profile for that match, like Gravenberch against Crystal Palace, because they just crowd him out. He will
yeah,
play them regardless. So everyone else is like, there's no point even training hard here because it doesn't matter what I do in training or what I do in a 15, 20-minute spell. Well, Gravenberch
yeah,
and Gakpo starting again.
yeah, yeah. That's actually a very good point, and I think the appeal of Slot was like, okay, Klopp had gone, and we were all sad about that. But it was like there was something quite refreshing about how unemotional he was, because it was almost like we had been maybe too emotional at times, and
Mm.
it's like, oh, this is quite clinical now, and then, but then, like you said, that then like it just the decisions and the gaslight, and that was the thing for me. It was like I would tune into a Klopp press conference where, but granted, he's like more charismatic than anyone on the planet. But
Mm.
I found with Slot, I would just get annoyed, and he would tell you you're seeing things that you're not seeing, and he would deny things are happening that clearly were happening. And I'm losing it with this guy. But anyway, I think we're set up now for a very, very good season. And if we can get Diamande, or I see Barcola as well, one or the other, I don't know. But yeah, I think we could have a very good season.
I think we're going to do surprising things next season. As I mentioned, I think it's Arsenal or Liverpool's to lose. And I'm certain with the rotation that Iraola brings on board that we're going to be right up there in the finals of at least the domestic cups. We've got the talent throughout the 1 to 24. I mean, we're filled to the brim with players who are itching at the chance to prove their worth now. But speaking of
Yes,
proving their worth, are you watching the World Cup? Are you enjoying the World Cup?
I am. I had a terrible run the first few days of just missing everything, and I would
Mm.
tune in a little bit, and then I would be like, "No, there's no goals happening here." Like I felt like every time I watched, there'd be nothing happening.
Draw.
But yeah, the last maybe 4 or 5 days, I've really gotten into watching it where I can. But yeah, I've been loving it, to be honest. There's been what I don't like is the hydration breaks and all
Oh,
that
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff, because
Ad
it's such an
breaks.
obvious like cash grab.
Yeah, yeah.
But so little things like that. But in general, it's just great to have matches on all the time. You
Very
know.
true. Very true.
And I tell you, I'm rooting for Japan. They're my since Ireland aren't in it, and it's devastating that Endo isn't there. But
Oh,
um, I was absolutely the biggest celebration I had at the World Cup so far was Japan's equaliser against
yeah.
the Netherlands. So, how are you finding it yourself? How's things in Japan about it? Is it did it get very World Cup fevery?
Yeah, yeah. Any excuse and any chance to party and celebrate because they don't officially celebrate Christmas, but anytime it's Christmas or that kind of event, you're going balls to the walls to celebrate and high five.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's party time and it's fighting spirit, party spirit. I do think though, my captain, no Endo, no Matoma, even
I
Takefusa Kubo
know.
looks injured as well. But the quality of this World Cup, it's pretty entertaining. It's pretty
Yeah,
end-to-end games. It's none of this low block shit that you just see trying to batten down a defense. Everyone's going for it.
yeah. I'm always struck when I see non-Premier League football how entertaining it actually is,
Yeah.
and that's even international football is now past the Premier League in terms of entertainment for me. But yeah, I'm loving it, to be honest. I have like the odd little team here and there. I've
Yeah.
started this office sweepstakes in
Oh,
work
nice.
that I have a very complicated point system that I would really regret setting up my Excel spreadsheets all over the place. And of course, the people who don't like football at all
Yeah.
got all the best teams.
Oh, yes.
So it was a bit of a disaster. But yeah, no. There's what? Which one's on tonight? Or
Good
is
question. Have
Japan's
a,
not playing tonight? Are they?
have a sneaky feeling they might. No, not tonight, but I think it's Sunday. Sunday, yeah, Sunday,
Oh,
Tunisia.
right.
So the times are horrendous for me. They kick off
I
in
was gonna
like
say
3
yeah.
a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
Ah, yeah,
Nightmare.
we have. I mean, sometimes. I mean, I never see the 5 p.m. There's one at 5 p.m. here, which I never see
Okay.
because I'm coming back from work,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I'll usually catch the 8 or 9 p.m. one. I'm usually asleep by 11, so and then I miss the AM game. So
Yeah.
that's my big problem. And to be honest, I can't find a good, like, just even on YouTube, like,
Yeah.
okay, let me see the goals of that, because ITV and BBC, it's like not available in your country,
Mm.
and our local broadcaster doesn't seem, even though they show the World Cup, doesn't seem to have anything about it. So I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm missing loads. My overriding feeling at this World Cup is that I'm missing the good stuff,
Yes.
but seemingly it's a good like in terms of entertainment quality and all that. It's right up there, like, isn't it?
I think so. I think so. I think it's been proper end-to-end competitive. The stars are actually shining. You're seeing Haaland scoring, Mbappe scoring. Even England are finally attacking under Thomas Tuchel and Harry Kane and everyone's scoring. So it's going to be an absolute bloodfest to see who
Yeah,
scrapes it out at the end. And I think anyone. I think quite a lot of potential winners here.
I could see. Yeah, I could see England, Germany. I could see. I could see so many teams. When I was only talking at my girlfriend there about
Yeah.
Messi's hat trick, and
Oh.
like, even though like I don't have skin in the game, I'm like he's 39, like younger than me, but like he's 39 and he's scoring a hat trick now. Isn't that great? And but I have to say that brought a big smile to my face just seeing.
It did.
I don't know why, but seeing him scoring a hat trick and Ronaldo scoring
Oh,
zero against
I love it.
Congo
And they're
was
blaming him as well.
unreal.
They're blaming him for being greedy and taking the ball off of Bruno
Yeah,
Fernandes.
yeah, and like, but I have to say the memes online about this World Cup have been top notch.
Oh,
I
they
don't know.
have. Yeah, that's
They've
a
been
good point.
so good. So yeah, I'm loving it. I just love that when there's football on, so I'm happy.
Same as who did you get in the sweepstakes? Final point. Who did you get in the sweepstakes?
I got so two teams each. I got Ghana and Uruguay, and I tell you
Okay.
the excitement. I was like, "Great, Uruguay! I can watch my man Darwin do his
Darwin
thing."
Nunez.
It's like
Seen
subbed
him.
off at halftime, 3 touches
Yeah.
of the ball. It's like, and he's not coming to Liverpool. I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, I know. I know.
Uh,
Double whammy.
but yeah, yeah. But anyway, we'll see. Uruguay maybe could do it.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I got
Yeah,
Croatia and Canada. Now Canada smashed the opposition, but oh my god, Canada, no hope. And
yeah.
Croatia got battered by England.
I know, but I still think I think Croatia will qualify.
Yeah.
For the knockouts, or like it is like this is how naive I am now. It's still the normal group, like Group A, Group B, or
Yeah.
is it a new format?
It's groups. It's groups, and then there will
Yeah,
be
okay.
two, I can't remember, 2 or 3 qualifying. I think it's 2,
Yeah,
and then there will
two,
be
and
knockouts. Yeah, knockouts.
right. Well, watch this space. I'll
Absolutely.
be I'll be side rooting for on your behalf for Croatia, Canada, and Japan, of course.
And Darwin Nunez, Golden Boot. That's what's happening. for sure.
Just you still got it there.
That was it. Anyway, my man, so good to catch up with you. Glad to see you're doing well. The footy is always on. Any final words for the prospective hopes of Liverpool next season under Iraola?
Let's have it.
Let's have it. Up the fucking Ritz. Good man, good man. Until next time, Andy Cantwell means Akiman, Ichiban means the best, Janet means ciao.
Thanks, guys.